Does it feel like you're in a constant battle trying to maneuver through some hard things or hard emotions, or you're working really hard to awaken and align with new spiritual truths? I want to share a little bit about healing in this episode and why we have to go through so many emotions to get to the point of peace and fulfillment, really. So stay tuned and I will share some insight about the healing process and your emotions. Welcome to the Soul Alignment Mentor Podcast. I'm your host, Angie, and I'm inviting you to explore the depths of self-sabotage, limiting mindsets, and the beliefs that hinder our progress in life. Through intuitive messages I receive from my spirit team, I share profound insights to help you live authentically and break free from these limitations. Join me now as we uncover all the keys to living your best life. Welcome back. My name's Angie, and I'm your Soul Alignment Mentor, bringing you intuitive messages from Spirit to help you align with your most authentic and highest self. So, if you're anything like me and you're on a spiritual awakening journey, or you've started one, or you've been on one for a while, you know that spiritual awakening also includes healing. And that means that you're releasing old karmas, old traumas, old beliefs, old energy. All this stuff is going on as you are in this awakening. And anybody that goes through a true awakening will be going through a deep healing process. But sometimes it can feel really frustrating because you're not always where you want to be, and you might really not know how to get where you want to be. So, I want to give you some insight based on frequency, emotions, and the level that you're on, and how to move to the next level of fulfillment and peace based on your current place and your current frequency. For this is the scale of enlightenment, or the consciousness scale. And what is really interesting about this is it shows the frequency of emotions. And if you look at this scale, you see down here at the very bottom is shame. Once you have or get out of shame, you move into guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, and so on. And so if you've been working on healing and you have had some experiences in your life, maybe you've been through some trauma, maybe you've had some negative things happen, you might be in shame, you might feel shame, you might feel really like angry, you may have some fear, you may feel some grief, you may feel some guilt, whatever that might be for you. You might be on some of the lower frequency emotions, and mixed in there is going to be depression, anxiety, and all those other really dense emotions that cause you to really stay stuck in your life. But what happens, and this is something that I experienced when I worked in the mental health field, is we try to go from feeling depressed, anxious, or fearful, or having struggles all the way up into joy and peace. Now you can see that the scale has many different frequencies on its way up to joy and peace. And if you think about jumping from a 20 hertz frequency all the way up to a 600 hertz frequency, that is a huge shift in your energy field. And so when people start to do their healing, this is what they might try to do, is jump from one frequency and element into a different one. But that is not the best beneficial way for you to go through your healing. The beneficial way to heal is to allow yourself to begin to feel all the emotions that rise up in you based out of the emotion that you are currently at, or the feeling you're currently in. So, say you're having a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, you're feeling a lot of shame about something, maybe you're in fear, whatever that is. The first step is to acknowledge that emotion and feeling where you are. And the more you acknowledge that feeling, you're able to work that out of your energetic field. And that's through feeling it, that's through crying it out, that's through speaking it out in a safe place, whether that's with a healer or a therapist or on your own by yourself, whatever it is, you have to acknowledge and see that emotion. You have to spend time with that emotion. A lot of times we want to avoid these emotions because they don't feel good. But the way to release them is to see and feel them. Once you see and feel an emotion, you're able to move into a new emotion. So if I've been feeling depressed or if I've been feeling really sad and unmotivated in my life, I'm not going to be able to wake up the next morning and start doing runs or go out in public or do things. That's a shock to the system. Now, there is ways that you can incorporate that, but it's going to be a gradual process for your nervous system and for your energetic system to begin to take that step into that next emotion where you're ready to be out living your life if you've been stuck living in a really low density energy. So if I'm in this really depressive state and I'm feeling really low, what I might need to do is get in touch with some anger within me. Or maybe I need to get in touch with some fear in me. Or maybe I need to get in touch with some anxiety within me. And so you can see by looking in one emotion, you can find another emotion, and then you work with that emotion and you feel that emotion. You can trace these emotions back throughout your life. You can also see on this scale, it has different colors on it. And these are the colors of our chakras from our root to our crown. So our root chakra holds the foundation of our human self, the safety of who we are. And a lot of times in our root chakra is where these emotions were first created in the first 7 years of our life. So going back into the energy of what created that emotion and feeling and then what has kept it in your energy field since a child is going to be really important to learn the source and root of it to be able to release it. And as you start releasing it, you can go through the other emotions where you can start to feel the apathy, the grief, the fear, the anger, the desire, the pride. You can start working through the emotions to feel this. Now, these emotions on this scale may not be the exact emotions that you tap into or feel, but this is a good example of the frequency scale of what it's like to move through your healing process. If you've been in a low place, give yourself time to move through all those emotions to get into a higher frequency, to get into the acceptance of yourself, to get into the reason and love and joy and peace. Enlightenment is one of those emotions that likely as a human you may not ever achieve. And so it's not our goal to become enlightened. Our goal is to become peaceful. And in the peacefulness, we're able to tap into a little bit of enlightenment. But enlightenment is going to be when we have completely let go of the emotions of our human self. And there are very few humans that have actually achieved that. And so the goal isn't to become this major spiritual influence person or have all the knowledge of the universe. That that wouldn't be fun as a human. Like, why would we want to know all things as a human? That's why we come to be a human, is to not know all things. We also come to be a human so we can experience all these emotions. So we have to allow ourselves to go through them because each emotion gives us insight to what is going on in our body. And those emotions tell us the energy that we hold in our body. So being able to connect with the emotion gets us in contact with the energy that we have in our body, which then can get us in contact with the source of the energy and where it started. So hopefully that gave you some insight. So when I work with somebody in healing, everybody wants to feel amazing. Everybody wants to feel good. Everybody wants to feel encouraged and enlightened. But you can't get there by jumping from complete shame and sadness to peace and love. That would be like me thinking I can go run a marathon tomorrow. I can't even run a mile right now. There's no way that that is possible for me to do. So I have to work my way up. If I were to see each mile as an emotion, I would have to work through every emotion to be able to get to that point. Now, everybody's going to have different ways of experiencing these emotions and different experiences with them as far as what caused them. But that is the one thing that you can do, is dive into what is going on in your body and your feeling without ignoring it, without pushing it away, and moving through each scale into a higher frequency, into the peace and love and acceptance, and where you just feel balanced and okay. It doesn't mean you're not going to have lower frequency emotions ever, because as long as we are human, we are going to have those experiences. We're going to be dipping down into 3D and going back into 4D multiple times a day. So we can't hold the frequency that we might be feeling in a low moment to where we are vibrating on a normal level. But just like when you turn the dial on a radio station, you can't jump all the way to the highest station without going through all the other stations if you're turning the knob to that. So we have to give ourselves patience and time to also move through the emotions and frequencies that we have within us, so that we can release some of the lower frequencies and get to a point where we can actually stay in the frequency of acceptance, balance, and love. We can't stay in that unless we've worked out all the other emotions in our body as well. If this is something that you have been wanting to do or learn, I actually offer a 7-week program where I teach people how to do this based on their own experiences, their own life circumstances, to help get to the root of the emotions they have in their body. And in the 7 weeks, I pretty much can guarantee, if you follow the program, that you are going to feel like a brand new person within that 7 weeks. By the time you get done, some of the things you struggle with now will no longer be. And you're going to have all the tools that you need to continue on your own journey, if you don't continue with me, to do it in your own daily practice. So I want to encourage you, if this is something that you desire, to reach out to me and set up a consultation call, and we'll talk about how I can support you on this journey. But if you're not in a place where you're ready to work with a healer, I encourage you to start paying attention to the emotions that you have in your body and working with them and loving them where they are. Love is truly the only thing that heals. And you have to start by loving yourself and where you are before you can get to where you want to go. I hope this was helpful for you. I would love if you would follow, leave a comment below, share if you would like, and I will talk to you again soon. I wish you all the best day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. I send you all the universal love. Namaste.